What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to Picking a Fight. I'm Latch.
I'm Jeff.
And today we're going to be looking at the main event of UFC 276, Israel Adesanya versus Cannonier. But before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't. We're putting out videos for almost every fight night and pay-per-view. So if you're into content like this, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss out. And yeah, let's get right into it.
Yep, so we have the champion Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya. His record is 22 wins, 1 loss. He is 32 years of age, 6'4", 80-inch reach, and he's coming off back-to-back wins against Robert Whittaker and Marvin Vettori. And he's going up against Jared Killer Gorilla Cannonier. His record is 15 wins, 5 losses, 38 years of age, 5'11", 77.5-inch reach, and he's also coming off back-to-back wins, but against Derek Brunson and Kelvin Gastelum. What do you think?
Yeah, so this is the biggest odds discrepancy on the main card. As of writing this, Adesanya is a minus 365 favorite, and Cannonier is a plus 300 underdog. And I think that's for a reason. You know, the co-main event, Max versus Volk, that one, go ahead and check out that video to hear our thoughts. But we think that fight's going to be a close one. Well, in this one, not so much, because, I mean, we've seen a lot from Adesanya. We've seen that he can be a patient fighter, and it leads to sometimes slower fights, but he wins, you know, or he can get the finishes. But, you know, he's really good at using his length. You know, he's really tall, really has a huge reach advantage for the division. This will actually be his shortest reach advantage, though. Yeah, because he only has a 2.5-inch reach advantage here, and the rest have been like 5 or more. So, you know, he's a long-rangey striker. When he strikes, you know, he uses every inch of his reach because, you know, he fights super long. His straight punches are so long, bro. It's crazy. He uses his kicks, his long-ass legs, you know, to maintain distance. He's really dangerous from range, and a lot of his opponents have trouble entering and causing damage when it comes to striking. He tends to lean back. That's like one of my biggest criticisms for him. That striking defense relies heavily on him just leaning back and getting out of range due to his height and his length. And against bigger fighters, I think that will not suffice, you know. But Cannonier's not that big. You know, he's actually a lot shorter. Similar reach, but Israel Adesanya is still really tall. He's 5 inches taller. He has really good takedown defense. We saw that, but I don't see Cannonier really shooting that often. So, and honestly, I don't know how Cannonier is going to solve the puzzle. Like, I genuinely don't know, bro. What you think?
I mean, he has to close the distance, and he has to... I think he probably has to make it a brawl, but I don't think Israel Adesanya is even going to consider that, you know?
No,
but
there's no way.
But who you think is going to take the step back? Because I think...
It's going to be Cannonier, I think.
You think so?
I think so.
Because I think in...
Oh, well, Izzy can fight backwards.
Yeah, that's why I was like, oh, I mean... Because I think Cannonier against Kelvin Gastelum is the one going back. And against Derek Brunson, it was like half and half. But wouldn't it be better if Israel Adesanya put the pressure? Because
it could be, yeah. But he can get countered. I think that's what he doesn't want. So if he lets him come forward, he'll do the countering and manage the distance, you know?
That's true.
But
and you said that Adesanya, he's like a counter fighter, a counter puncher, right?
Yeah, he's a counter striker. Cannonier is also very patient in his strikes. Like, he doesn't really... His output's not crazy or anything like that. I mean, we saw that in his last 2 fights. Even against Gastelum, you know, his output's not that high. You know, he just throws what he needs to. And I honestly think that's going to work as a disservice to him. I think his lack of volume is going to let Adesanya really get comfortable and kind of like work his game and like really fight at his own distance, a distance that I do not see Cannonier closing. Yeah, the only thing is Izzy's legs are vulnerable, you know, in his stance. And Cannonier has some heavy leg kicks. Like, he basically blew, I don't know if you remember, but he blew Anderson Silva's knee out by kicking him. And yeah, so he should utilize that to stop all of Adesanya's movements. You know, he switches stances. I just don't see how Cannonier is going to crack the puzzle. I don't see him where's the answer kind of thing. Yeah. I feel like he's not the guy to do it. But, I mean, I love it. A good upset if that happens. It'd be amazing. But I have Adesanya by decision. I think both guys are going to be very careful in what they throw out. You know, obviously, Cannonier got a lot of power. Adesanya will be wary of it. And Cannonier is not the type of guy to throw a lot of volume. So I think we're going to see a slow burn fight. I think we're going to see Adesanya win on points. And, yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I was going to ask you that because I think it's going to be a slow fight too. Because both of these guys, I mean, Cannonier's patient, Adesanya being more of a counter fighter. So, I mean, I just don't see a lot of volume being pushed out. I do see a lot of kicks.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like Adesanya's going to try to keep the range with kicks. I don't think his output's going to be that much. So, I mean, he could get a finish. I think maybe Adesanya gets a counter in there, but I think the safest bet is decision win for Adesanya.
Yeah, I think if anybody gets finished, I think Adesanya probably, even though Cannonier holds the power advantage, I think it's Adesanya who will probably hit the
cleaner shot.
the match-winning strike kind of thing.
Mm.
But yeah, you can never count out someone with so much power. Yeah, but let us know down below what you think. Do you think Cannonier gets it done? Do you think he comes in with a huge upset? Or you think Adesanya gets his 5th title defense against Cannonier? Let us know down below what you think. And yeah, it's going to be a great night of fights. Don't forget to check out our other videos. We actually did videos for every other fight on this card, including the co-main event. And yeah, the Sugar Show's on there. Brian Barberina, Robbie Lawler, Sean Strickland versus Pereira, who's the next one in line for the title. So go ahead and check those out if you haven't. And yeah, don't forget to tune in. And we'll see you next week for RDA versus Fazeev, another great card. Yeah, it's actually a really good card. You got some good fighters on it. So I'm not just saying that every time, but yeah. We'll see you next week.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.